list are we up to now? Aha. Look like a news reporter. This evening's news. Sneaker market is down. Good for sneakerheads. I don't know. Let's do this. Hey, what up and welcome to another episode of Creased, one of the very last for 2023. Now, we've done all the lists. So far we've done underrated, most overrated. It is time for the worst sneakers of 2023. And look, some feelings might get hurt. You may have a pair of these at home. You may like them. You may be involved with the company. It's an equal opportunity sneaker show where these are just my opinions. If I don't like it, I don't like it. If I think it's terrible, it's terrible. If you don't agree, hash it out in the comments. Let's go. Honorable mentions. The Nike V2K run. Now for me, I feel like Asics and New Balance have had this tremendous success with what they're calling mesh runner movement or the Y2K runners, everything like that, where Nike is like, we got to quickly put something into the bank, and they went with V2K run. We can't call it Y2K run because that's already a thing. We'll call it V2K run. It makes no sense. It looks terrible. It looks very cheap, but I think they've done very well in that space with the Vomero. They didn't really need this, but it's on the list. Honorable mention, the Travis Scott original silhouette, which I don't know if it's come out or not. Like, I can never tell with these things. It seems like it's come out, but then it hasn't. I don't know. That's why it's honorable mention. We mentioned Vomeros. Vomeros did really well this year. I remember selling them at retail. There was no hype. Now, I find myself wanting certain colorways. Go figure. But it is the Vomero Panda Dunk. That hybrid between the Dunk, the Panda Dunk, and the Vomero. This may have even been like the final nail in the coffin for the Panda. These are horrible. Great colorway, simple colorway with the off-white sail and the black, but just don't need those leather patches for the Panda. I don't know if they come off or not, but horrible. The Devin Booker 1s. These just ain't it. These are trash. I've heard some people, when they first came out, the colorways and everything like that, going, oh, these are going to be great. Nah, bro. This is what you took Kyrie away from us for. Like, you gave us the Booker, you gave us the Ja Morants. No good. Ja Morants aren't as offensive as the Devin Booker, but, like, they could be here too. Let's be honest. The Harden 7. I don't know what Adidas design team are doing. It seems like they went all in on the Anthony Edwards 1 and the Fear of God, whatever it is. But these are some shit shoes. I don't even know how to, I don't know. Harden has had probably one of his worst couple of years too, so maybe it's the shoes. It's gotta be the shoes. The Montclair Adidas collection. Again, honorable mention, these are absolute dog shit. Now, you may like them. You may live in somewhere that has snow, so these are applicable. Maybe you care about like that height sort of stuff, being that it's a Montclair collab. Me, I just see it for what it is. I don't like it. But let's get into the official list right here. At number 10. It was a huge year for Nike SB Dunks. We still couldn't sell the highs though. There was a bunch of good highs last year, a bunch of good highs this year. The pawn shop one, like they went on sale, insane. Great looking shoe. For me, I still didn't buy it because I just don't find myself wearing a Dunk high. This one right here, I'm definitely never wearing. The Nike SB Dunk High Candy Corn. Now these leaked quite some time ago through private selection. Everyone said the exact same thing. These are trash, these are bin juice. I get that they've got the variant from color to color like it is a piece of candy corn, but you could have done it so much better. And let's face facts, if it was a low, you're half a chance. But for me, like the coloring just reminds me of the ray guns, and it just looks like a really cheap knockoff of a ray gun. I know there's a bunch of pairs where we look back in 5-10 years and we go, oh man, we'll sleep it on that. For me, it's like the What the 4s or the Tinker Anniversary Red 3s. This ain't it. This will never be it. Trash. At number 9, it is the Nike ISPA Universal. Now I've got to check my phone because I can't remember which one it is, because the ISPA ISPA collabs with Nike, they're all garbage. I don't take really good note of which ones are named whatever with them because I try and delete them from my mind. Give me a second. There's 2 silhouettes that I remember from this year. One kind of looks like some bum ass shit, but the other one was like a weird slide, both of which I've seen at outlets quite recently. Let's just have a look. Universal. It is the dumb slide. They're kind of like a slide, but kind of like a shoe. Look, we're done with the slide croc thing. Bring back normal slides, stop fucking around. These just look like, oh, let's try and 3D print something and we'll attach ISPA to it. And then, like, my thoughts with certain collaborators, especially when they sign a contract, it's not just a one-off thing, is they get allocated or mention their set parameters and then they just get given ideas. That's what this seems like. It's horrible. You could literally throw in the other ISPA model. I don't know if it dropped this year. What's it called? But I've seen them both literally within the last week at outlets. So it's reaffirming to me how bad they are. I don't even know if this is a collab. I think that by reading this, I think it's just a department within Nike. Fucking terrible. They can be equal bad with 9 on the list. At number 8, it is the Nike Air Force 1 Off-White Mid. I've said it. They may have even been in like lists prior, but they decided to re-release some colorways and everything. They've still got the stupid spikes. They've still got the Oki straps and everything on it. RIP Virgil, you had some bangers. This was not it. I've gone in on this before. I don't think I need to anymore. The New Balance Joe Freshgoods Rainier. Rainer? I don't know how you say it. This is like... There's certain types of sneakers that sneakerheads get in their mind. Like, oh, it's so different. You're just not up on this. And it's like just being different to be different. This here feels like the absolute peak of that. Absolutely horrible. Like, the look of it's like, the look of it is of a mountain climbing shoe, but the traction doesn't seem like it would even suit that properly. They did an ALD version as well. They did all the things you would do to introduce a new silhouette. Problem is, it's just horrible, absolutely horrible. I can see like, I was gonna say some vegan weirdo wearing these, but I think they're leather, so that's not gonna happen. It's one of those people that like, oh, I'm indie. What does that mean? I'm alternative. What? Alternative to good? What does that mean? Terrible. The next one on the list, where we at? 1, 2. Number 6 on the list is the Air Jordan 5 plaid colorway. Now, when these first released, when we first saw the images of it, everyone was like, kill it with fire. These do not need to exist. Now, to my knowledge, I believe they're just a junior release. Something like this for Christmas for kids, you know, you can maybe get away with it, but they're not. No one wants these. These are absolutely terrible. They're sitting everywhere. They missed the boat. If they want a Christmassy design shoe, less is more. Maybe if you had in the Jumpman, it had that plaid sort of thing. If on the back there was some little bit, but the rest of it was like a normal type colorway, you could get away with that. That would work. This does not. I can't even say anything positive about it. Jordan 5, not one of my favorite Jordans as it is. I've got one pair, reverse Bel Airs, and then the plaid. I understand you're trying to do these holiday things, trying to keep creating reasons for us sneakerheads to buy shoes, but here's the thing, we're gonna buy shoes anyway. This is not good. Not good. I like the idea. Terrible execution. Number 5 on the list. Now this is gonna be a controversial one. Absolutely. People don't always agree with my opinion. Some people do. Like, it is what it is. These are my opinions, my list. But this here, like, people were initially discussing and talking about sneaker of the year. I think these are absolutely garbage. It is the Air Jordan 1 X Union Weave. You've taken essentially one of the most random ideas Nike's had in the last, say, 20 or so years, and then put it on a Jordan 1, give it a Union collab, and hope for the best. Quality of materials looks good. The weave doesn't. This is another one like the candy corns. If you did this in a low and someone has customized it and done a low, it doesn't look too bad. But because that weave takes up so much of the shoe, and it's such a big shoe being a high, it just doesn't look good. Like, when it first came out, people were talking about this being up there for sneaker of the year. Since, crickets. Haven't heard anyone talking about this shoe. And for me, I think it's one of the worst sneakers of 2023. Like, if I'm being honest, the only Union collab I've really liked was the Dunks. So, I'm not a hype beast. I like what I like. If I like a shoe, I like a shoe. But this one, horrible. Number 4 on the list is the Nocta Glide in either the red or the green colorway. Lime green's one of my favorite colors, but this just doesn't do it. Like, this is a super random shoe anyway. We're kind of making it like a Jason Kidd, but not a Jason Kidd. And before we release these, we'll release the Jason Kidds. It was super weird because, like, these leaked, he was wearing them, whatever. And then people are like, oh, it's kind of like a Jason Kidd, and then all this happens, and then they release the Jason Kidds and nobody cares. They're sitting in outlets. Again, seen them recently. Jason Kidds, don't get me wrong. Jason Kidd was an incredible basketball player. I remember, like, in NBA Live 03, he was like the hardest to go against when you were Kobe. Kobe was unstoppable, but Jason Kidd, like, kept him honest. Great shoe for the time. It's one of them things where when they bring it back, you're stoked to see it, and it's like that piece of nostalgia, but I'm probably not going to wear them in 2023. And the Nocta version, I'm definitely not going to wear. I think the white on white's not a bad shoe, but the red and green, horrible. And there's that famous clip with Joe LaPuma going on the Tonight Show talking about the red one, saying that it's up for sneaker of the year. In what fucking world is ever going to be up for sneaker of the year? Come on, bro. Like, you're just trying to get that viral moment. And I don't hate it. I don't hate it because, you know, all this is about attention, views, and whatever. Number 3 on the list is the Adidas Sean Wotherspoon Gazelle. Everything he has done prior to the Air Max 197, 97-1, whatever you want to call it, has been terrible. And I gotta be honest, like, I didn't even like that. I did not like the colorway. If that came in a different colorway, I liked the idea as a theory, like having the 97 top, the Air Max 1 at the bottom. I like that. Didn't like the colorway, the corduroy, any of that. He overvalued his position as a designer, everything like that, even though we find out years later that the whole thing was backdoored. He was already hand selected. And he goes to Adidas, and drops flop after flop that ends up at the outlets. I did not go to the Adidas outlet the other day because there was a lineup. Look, I'll go through a lineup for a Nike outlet, not an Adidas one. This here, it's just not a good shoe. The Gazelle is not a bad shoe. I don't have any. I had no thoughts towards getting a Gazelle, but let's just bring it up and get them fresh in the memory. You can see the intricate details and everything like that, you know. Reminds me of something like either that could have been released on Mexican Independence Day, could have been released for Christmas, you know, with the colorway. For me, they're just... I'm a big less is more guy. That's just too much going on for a damn shoe. I'm sure there will be people in here saying I'm tripping. Like every time I mention a bad Sean Witherspoon shoe, Ollie P is one of the first people going, I love that shoe. And I'm glad that you love that shoe. And I'm glad that you'll probably able to go to the outlets and get them for under retail. But this shoe, horrible. Number 2 on the list is a controversial one for a bunch of different factors. It took the internet by storm. Everyone was getting a photo in these, trying to get the clout, trying to get the clicks, the views, the hate, the what. But they're not really a sneaker, but it was within the sneaker world that this all happened. It's the big red boots. These are the dumbest thing I've ever seen, even heard of as a concept. But for whatever reason, someone decided that they were going to create Astro Boy boots in the flesh, even though they could never say they were Astro Boy boots. And yeah, Mischief, I know they're like an art company, they're not a sneaker company, but they keep making sneakers, right? We keep talking about them within sneakers. The first shoe that I ever heard from them was the God 97s with the holy water in them and that. Not a bad looking shoe. I'm not a religious person, but not a bad looking shoe. Next one was the Satan one. Heaps of controversy. There was no controversy, the God ones, there was with the Satan one. Then you had the weird, they were kind of like a Vans, but it was squiggled. This right here, they had the backward shoes as well. This right here is just, to me it says two things. Mischief doesn't have to keep doing knockoff weird stuff of different brands. Like they did with the Vans, right? They were in a lawsuit for that shoe. I think there was something else, maybe with Nike. I can't remember. But their original ideas will create enough buzz to where they can make money. And social media influencers will do anything, absolutely anything for the views and clicks. Me, I would never try these on. Never. I have no desire to look ridiculous in these. I can make myself look ridiculous with my own fashion choices. Number 2 on the list. But there can only be one. There can only be one worst shoe of 2023. We've gone through a lot of... Look, I've got to say this year, it was harder to find some worse shoes. There was definitely a lot of overrated shoes. There was definitely some underrated shoes. Definitely a lot for best shoes. But worst shoe was very hard to find. That may be even why I've stuck the big red boots in there. But like I had to go looking for worse shoes. Which says something that brands realise now that there's no point doing that bullshit because it's just not going to pay off. But the number 1 worst shoe of 2023, drum roll please. That's enough. It is the Cactus Plant Flea Market Nike Air Flea 2. And if you remember last year, I'm pretty sure it was the Air Flea 1 that was the worst shoe last year. Now these are kind of like, you've got some leftover tires, you strap them to like a water shoe that you get from BCF, and then for whatever reason you got a Velcro looking banana on the side that maybe kind of looks like a Nike tick. I know there was all this, there was this controversy, oh, you know, how they fit and the sizing and all. Who cares? That is the worst shoe. Like, what are we talking about here? You can't tell me you're that much of a hype beast that you look at that shoe and go, oh, I need them, they're a must cop. No, your average person sees this shoe and goes, What the fuck are those? This is your average person and the reaction to them.
Nah, he's right.
There's no way anyone's wearing this shit.
It sounds like no
What
bro.
are they?
Don't get me wrong, not your average person. Probably the most annoying person that I've recently discovered on the internet. But that is a person that's not up on sneakers and sees this shoe. They have no interest in hype. They don't know anything about hype. They're just giving their honest opinion. You cannot tell me that this is a good shoe. You cannot tell me you want to wear these. Like, what are you going to wear them with? The Balenciaga trash bag stuff? Like, the Derelict collection from Zoolander? Come on, bro. These are not good. And Cactus Plant Flea Market have done some good shoes. I'm pretty sure they did the Vapor Max. I didn't mind them. And they also did the Swarovski Dunks. Never going to wear them myself, but an interesting concept. This and the Grinch shoes, absolutely terrible. You cannot tell me otherwise. You cannot. I've never seen either of them on feet. You go to, you know, say Sneakerland, it's more than just sneakers, anything like that. You will see early pairs. You will see super hype pairs. You will never see those there. You did see the big red boots. And homie just seemed like he wanted to, like, everyone to see him wearing them joints. Like, I can imagine rocking up to something like that, wearing a pair like that for an attention for like the first 5 minutes, and then having a pair to change out of. Me, I wore... I can't remember what I wore. What did I wear? I wore something crazy and then switched out and put 3s on because just way too uncomfortable. But back to the Cactus Plant Flea Market. Nike Air Flea 2. Has it got air in it? Is there air in that weird sole? Am I bugging? Let's have a look at this again. Cactus. Oh, straight away. I've already looked it up. No, I'm not bugging. These are absolutely horrible. Is this a tactical shoe? Is this a bike riding shoe? Like, what is the use of this? You cannot tell me this is just solely made for the purpose to look good. Because it doesn't. Obviously, it's the worst sneaker of 2022. And like, I've heard people say, oh, you know, it's so rare for a company to be able to get their own silhouette with Nike. If this is the result, it should stay rare. It should never happen again. Like, honestly. And the thing with this, the same as the Grinch ones, is they leaked and were like going in early markets well before anything. And that created the hype for these. Because the last one that happened, then they get cancelled. So there's that, oh, there's ultra rare now. They're still really, really bad shoe. This one is still a really, really bad shoe. Comes in 2 colorways if you want them. Get them, I guess. That was the other one. Terrible. I don't know, man. The world of sneakers is ever changing. We go from Jordan 1s are the most hyped thing in the world to now Jordan 1s are sitting in outlets. We go from New Balance is an old man shoe to now New Balance and Asics are sitting in resale stores. Go figure. 2023 was a crazy year. There's a couple more lists left. We might do a little recap in the new year as well. Who knows? But this has been another episode of Creased. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and we'll be back twice a week. Peace.